Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Susie Leachy. I'm a certified health coach specializing in women's reproductive health. So I help women naturally balance their hormones through nutrition and lifestyle modifications. So before we get into the main topic today, oh, my cat's making an appearance. Before we get into the main topic today, let me just move her over a little. I just want to talk a little bit about why I became a health coach and why I'm so passionate. I'm just gonna put her on the floor. Why I'm so passionate about what I do. So a couple years ago, I was really struggling with my fertility, which I think I've mentioned before, and trying to get my cycles on track so that I could get pregnant. And I was working with doctors, and I was also doing a lot of research on my own because I'm kind of a nerd like that and into this kind of stuff. And I'm sure we've all consulted Dr. Google before, but I was also reading books and listening to podcasts and reading research articles, so I was really accessing any resources that I could get my hands on. And I'm a very self-motivated person, so I was willing to do what it took to get everything on track and get pregnant, which is what I really wanted. But after over 3 years of this, I made some progress, but I couldn't quite get there all the way on my own. And I was starting to feel really discouraged and frustrated. And I came to the realization that I needed someone who was objective and knowledgeable, who could support me and guide me along the way. So I ended up reaching out to an integrative fertility coach, and within 2 months of working with her, I ended up getting pregnant. So it was truly amazing and life-changing for me. So I've seen firsthand the value and the power of health coaching, and that's what really inspired me to become a coach myself so that I could help other women in a similar manner. And now my little guy is almost 8 months old. He's actually going to be 8 months on Sunday. I can't believe it. He's getting so big. And I've been working with another health coach who primarily works with new moms since he was about 3 months old. And that's also been extremely valuable and helpful for me. So I've seen the value of coaching firsthand in my own life, and I've also seen the life-changing transformations in my clients. So whether it's alleviation of symptoms from conditions such as PCOS or hypothalamic amenorrhea, or even if you don't have a diagnosed condition, when I help women to better understand their cycles and to get healthier by balancing their hormones, we really see every aspect of their lives improve. And so I just want to give a little background on why I got into coaching and why I'm so passionate about it. It can be really helpful to just have someone to not only give you practical and actionable steps to take, someone who's knowledgeable in those areas, but then someone to also provide you the support and resources and accountability. So that's why I love health coaching, and that's why I do what I do. And if you have more questions about it, feel free to reach out to me. I also, as I've mentioned previously, I do offer initial consultations for anyone who's interested. It's completely no pressure, no commitment or anything. Just we can get on the phone for about a half an hour if you want to see what it's all about and see if it would be a good fit. So just wanted to mention that, and now let's get into the main topic. So this was inspired by a request I received from someone in my group. And it was basically to talk about which teas are good for fertility and which are safe during pregnancy. So I thought this was a great topic, and especially as a tea lover myself, I'm very happy to talk about it. And it was actually one of the first questions that I asked when I finally got that positive pregnancy test, and I said to my fertility coach, okay, so what teas can I drink? Because I love tea so much, but I didn't want to drink anything that would potentially be harmful for my baby. So I'll talk about teas that are beneficial for fertility and overall health today. I'll also talk about teas that are safe during pregnancy, and also one in particular that I definitely recommend when you're pregnant. And then I'll also talk about teas that are safe and beneficial while breastfeeding. So I kind of looked in my pantry to see what teas I had. So I'll try to show you some of the teas as well as I go through, and the brands that I've used and recommend. So just a disclaimer before I get into it, I'm As I mentioned, I'm a health coach, I'm not a doctor, so this is just based on my own research and advice that I've received from medical practitioners, but I would definitely encourage you to check with your own healthcare provider if you have any questions about which teas are safe for your unique situation. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment, or if you catch the replay of this and have a question, feel free to reach out to me with any questions, and I will get back to you. Okay, so first let's start off with teas for fertility. So the first one is red raspberry leaf tea. So I believe I have that one. I will grab it for you. Okay, so this one is the kind that I use. You can see it's by Traditional Medicinals, which is a really good and reputable brand. It's organic, and I just got this on Amazon. I actually got a pretty large box of it, of many boxes of this tea, because I use it so much. But it's very nutrient dense, and it's especially high in calcium. It's also a uterine tonic, which makes it really good for pregnancy too, which I will get into when we talk about the pregnancy teas. So that's the first one. The next one is nettle tea. I don't have that one on hand, but that has a very high mineral content, and it's especially high in vitamin K, which is great. And it contains a lot of chlorophyll, and it's very nourishing to the adrenals and kidneys, which is really great for fertility. And like the red raspberry leaf tea, this one is also a uterine tonic, so it's healthy for your uterus, helps to tone the uterine muscles and all of that, so really excellent. Another one, which I believe I have, is dandelion root tea. So this is the same brand that I showed you before. This is Traditional Medicinals. This is an organic roasted dandelion root tea. And this one is great because it contains trace minerals as well as vitamins A and C. And dandelion root is also a mild diuretic, so it can help to remove toxins and cleanse the body. Next, so sort of along the lines of teas for fertility, are a couple of teas that I want to mention for PCOS in particular. So if you are struggling with PCOS, as I mentioned, I did a video on PCOS a couple weeks ago. I have this condition myself, so I've used these teas. The first one is spearmint tea, which, I think I have this one. Yep, okay. Again, same brand. You can see I love Traditional Medicinals. You can get it on Amazon. And so this is an organic spearmint tea. Spearmint tea has been shown in the studies to reduce androgen levels, so that would be testosterone and DHEAS. So those tend to be high in women who have PCOS. So drinking this tea regularly can actually help to reduce them. And that was something that I did when I was trying to get my cycles normalized so I could get pregnant. And then another one that I've used, which is great for PCOS, is this one. This is a different brand. This is Sugar Balance. And it contains basically a variety of Chinese herbs. So this one was recommended to me by my fertility coach, and it helps to, it helps to maintain normal blood sugar levels and regulate any blood sugar swings that you may have. So with that, it can improve insulin sensitivity. So that's also something that women with PCOS tend to struggle with. But even if you don't have PCOS and you tend to have blood sugar swings, this can be really beneficial for that. And by helping with your insulin levels and regulate your blood sugar, it can also help to regulate your cycles, which is great. Okay, so those are the teas for fertility. Now let's move on to the teas for pregnancy. So again, I'll talk about red raspberry leaf tea. It's a really good one for pregnancy. So this one, as I mentioned, it's a uterine tonic, so it helps to tone the uterus, and it actually can help make contractions stronger and more effective during labor, which can lead to a shorter labor, which of course we all want. But one caveat is that it can cause mild contractions. So just to be on the safe side, I know some people do recommend it for the first trimester, but I think just to be safe, it's better to wait until the second trimester to use this tea. But once you're in the second trimester, it's recommended that you have 2 cups a day in the second trimester, and then 3 cups a day in the third trimester. And, I use this, and, this is I only have one baby, so I don't have anything to compare it to, but I like to think this helped because I had a pretty short labor for a first labor, and progressed very quickly. So I like to think that part of it was due to some of the things that I did, one of which was drinking this red raspberry leaf tea every day during the second and third trimester, using those recommendations that I just suggested, 2 cups a day in the second trimester, 3 cups a day in the third trimester. Okay, another one is, I don't think I have this one, but peppermint tea. Peppermint, you may have heard, it's really great for alleviating nausea as well as gas pains. Digestive issues are pretty common in pregnancy, so that's a really good one. Also, ginger tea, which I think I have that one, but I didn't take it out. But Yogi, the brand Yogi, Y-O-G-I, has a really good ginger tea that's delicious. I think traditional medicinals, which I showed you before, that brand has one as well. So those are both really good. But ginger can also help to alleviate nausea and stomach upset, and it's really good for digestion in general. It's also a great source of zinc, which is great for pregnancy. And okay, the next one I also have, and this one is also a traditional medicinals. This is organic lemon balm. So lemon balm has a calming effect. It can help with anxiety, insomnia, irritability. You know, you might have some of those symptoms and some mood swings during pregnancy as your hormones are all over the place. So this is a really good one. And again, these are all beneficial for pregnancy and proven safe during pregnancy. Okay, another one is nettle tea. So I don't have that one, but it's high in iron, magnesium, and calcium. So another good one that's safe. And again, the dandelion tea. This, especially in late pregnancy, it can help with any swelling or edema that you may be experiencing because of the mild diuretic effect that it has. So another good one for pregnancy. And then lastly, we have, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, but rooibos tea. And this is one that I believe I got on Amazon. It's an organic rooibos tea. And it's high in calcium, magnesium, and antioxidants, and it can also help with digestion. And by the way, all of these are caffeine free. So, you know, it's important not to have, you can have a little bit of caffeine during pregnancy, but not too much. So I like to stick to just the completely caffeine free teas. Okay, and then, one more for pregnancy, which I've used, and I believe I have. It is by Yogi, which is a brand that I mentioned before. My favorite brands are basically Yogi and traditional medicinals. They're really good. Okay, so this is called Women's Mother-to-Be, and it has, I'll just read some of the ingredients. It has a lot of the ones that I already mentioned, but it's raspberry leaf, peppermint leaf, nettle leaf, spearmint, dandelion root, fennel seed, and cardamom pod. So, you know, all safe for pregnancy, especially, you know, it's all in, they're combined with other herbs and they're in pretty small doses. So this one is good. I've used this one. Okay. So it's, as I mentioned, it's best to avoid caffeinated teas when you're pregnant and any other herbal tea. So for instance, I wouldn't use this sugar balance while pregnant because it contains just a bunch of herbs that you can see, a bunch of herbs that, you know, haven't been proven safe during pregnancy. So it's best to just avoid ones like that, or other ones that, you know, I haven't mentioned just because they may be safe, but they haven't necessarily been studied. So I think it's good to just be on the safe side. And then there is also a tea I want to mention for breastfeeding. I'm still breastfeeding my 8-month-old, so I try to drink this tea regularly to keep my milk supply up. So this is another Yogi tea. It's women's nursing support. So it contains fennel, chamomile, stinging nettle, aniseed, fenugreek seed, and lavender flower. So some of those are, especially fenugreek is what's called a galactagogue, so it helps you produce more breast milk. And the other herbs are, you know, safe during breastfeeding and can be beneficial and have other health benefits. So this is a good one. I use it personally. So I know I've covered a lot of teas today and shown you, but if anyone is interested, I can create kind of a handout or a little cheat sheet with all of these listed. So if that's something you're interested in, please just let me know and I'd be happy to do that, you know, if that's easier for someone rather than having to refer back to this video. So let me know. But that's all the content that I have for you today. Again, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments or send me a message and I'll be happy to get back to you. I also, as I mentioned in previous videos, I have a private Facebook group. It's called Hormone Balancing, Fertility, and Beyond. So if you are interested in this type of content and you're not already a member, I invite you to join us there in that group. It's a really great group of women and I share a lot of information about women's health there. I'll post a link to that group in the comments if you want to join. And I also, if you've liked this page and you want to continue seeing the content that I post, as I mentioned last week, Facebook has changed its algorithms and the content may not be showing up in your newsfeed as readily. So if you want to continue to see my posts, you can actually edit your newsfeed preferences and go into prioritize who to see first. And then if you add Health Equilibrium by Susie Leachy, then you won't miss a post or video. I also want to mention that I have a free guide on my website. It contains my top 5 tips for hormonal health, so it's a great way to get started. I'll post a link to that. It's on the homepage of my website. You just put in your name and email and you'll get access to that. And if you want support and someone to guide you in naturally balancing your hormones or preconception planning and fertility, or if you're already pregnant and you just want to feel good and have the healthiest pregnancy that you can, as I mentioned, I offer free, no commitment, no pressure consultations. So I will put a link to sign up for one of those in the comments. And lastly, if there's a topic or question that you'd like me to cover in an upcoming video, please let me know. I'm currently doing these videos every Wednesday, so if there's a topic that you want to see, feel free to let me know and I'll be sure to include it in an upcoming video. So if there are no questions, then that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for joining me and have a great day. Bye.